This next speaker is a pure engineer in this new era, year one of Annus Felix. Developers are the ones ushering in a new future, and this next speaker is a builder through and through. Give it up for Shah!
Wow. Hey, everybody. I'm going to give a really nerdy talk. If you know us, you know that we do open source AI agents. Anybody can go to our GitHub today and clone it. If you like Bitcoin, you like Solana, you like Base, you like any of the chains, you can get an agent going with a wallet that can interact with it today. And it is fully open source. Everything we do is just totally open. So there's been a lot of talk about Eliza 1, and now we're going to talk about Eliza 2. That's what we're here to talk about. So I am the founder of Eliza Labs, as well as a yapper for ElizaOS, and you may know us from our token AI16Z. What is Eliza? If you've seen like twitter.com/god or Eliza Wakes Up, those are definitely our agents. We have a really hard way, we don't really know how to measure all of them because there are so many, but there are definitely 20,000 plus agents now yapping on Twitter. Sorry. So the current architecture, we have kind of like 3 critical components that you can build on. We have this idea of a provider. That could be anything you want. That could be your wallet information. That could be the local news, weather. You can make a custom provider to get information from your current website or API. We're seeing a lot of this. A lot of people taking their website, bringing it on to social media, into your phone, into the places where people already are, and using that as kind of their new front door. So what we really see here is the future of the web being agentic. People are not clicking on ads. They're probably not going to your website, and they're probably not getting all the information they need from your landing page. This is where agents are really powerful. So context providers kind of provide all that information in, let your agents yap about anything you want. We also have actions, things that the agents can do. That could be walking around a video game. Like we have a game called Small World we've been working on with Treasure DAO, a couple other games in the works. Or it could be looking up information or ordering a pizza. I don't know if you saw that. We had a Domino's pizza ordered with one of our agent friends. We also have evaluators. So we kind of have the input as our providers, and the actions are our sort of outputs, what the agent does. And evaluators are like the agent asking itself, well, how am I doing? How is this conversation going? What are the facts that I can pull out about the user that I want to retain and learn and keep forever? And so those 3 primitives have allowed people to build these pretty complex agents that can actually do quite a lot. But there are some issues with that. And I, being a very self-critical person, wanted to sort of get into well, what can we do better, and what's coming. So let's see. Eliza blew up really quickly. 3.5 months ago, it was just me at my computer typing this stuff out. I've been working on agents for many years, but this current iteration for about a year, and it really started to actually get traction in August. And then once Truth Terminal blew up and everyone was like, well, I want an agent, they sort of realized that you could use our thing to shill meme coins, and that definitely, that's kind of where that line started to go up. We have over 450 contributors. This is some of these people are full-time with us working on the core. Some of them are just coming in and adding a plugin or fixing a feature or bug or something like that. But it's been very much like a communal project. It was just me, and now it's a whole lot of people. And we have a really vibrant Discord community where people are building all day, every day, working on this. So yeah, what's wrong with V1? If you've used our stuff, well, you will know that there are some really great things about it, and there's also some things that are not so great. A lot of that came from the fact that we had so much initial success and attention that we started to get lots and lots of packages, just people committing code for every blockchain and every kind of thing you could want. And that's great, but it started to really bloat the core. So we had to really look at that. We also, we have all these different clients. You can connect to Twitter, Discord, Telegram, WhatsApp, a whole bunch, pretty much anything, Reddit. Oh my God, all the different places you could probably want your agent. And you can even text your agent now. You can even call it. But this kind of created some issues where well, if I call my agent, how do I get it to send a Discord message? And I could build custom actions for that. But we wanted something where the messaging is all kind of centralized. And so the agent can think and then send messages out wherever it feels like it needs to send them. We also, while we have support for pretty much all the chains I can think of, once you start to add multiple wallets, we get some collisions where, it's kind of a hard problem. If you're hey, I want to send a token, it's okay, well, what chain do you want me to send that token on? And there's some stuff that we have for inferring that, but we really wanted that to be stronger and have like kind of a unified system for wallets. So the agent just has like a wallet with all of its stuff in it. And honestly, when I think of like something like MetaMask, I think like it's so silly that I have to switch chains. Like whoever came up with that, I don't know. I gotta have some words with them. So I really love the idea that there's basically one wallet, one agent, and it can we can do all kinds of really interesting stuff there, like holding things in escrow. We don't need like these kind of hard bridges. We can, have the agent understand, okay, well, I sent some stuff on this chain, I sent some stuff on this chain, and this is kind of the full transaction. We have this idea of state composition, so we can compose state for like, what are my current goals? What are my, who are the people who are actually in this conversation that I'm having? We have this really cool room abstraction, which kind of gets us beyond the like, I'm just talking to an agent, and more like the agent is actually in a room or in a world. And that's been like a big part of our success is kind of this abstraction. But the problem is that it's like hard coded into the agent, and if you don't necessarily care about goals, you sort of just have to live with the fact that that exists no matter what. So it's kind of like hard coded, and we've sort of made these decisions for you, which has definitely got us to a certain point, but no further. And also, while we do have like action chaining and workflows, we didn't have the ability in this one to plan like a series of actions all together in sort of one go. So we wanted to tackle these things. So yeah, too many packages, right? We have a lot of packages. It's great. We got 15, 20 pull requests a day. It's great. We have a full-time team just struggling to keep up with merging that stuff. Plugins for everything. But this is something that we're solving. The way we're solving it is with a package registry, which means you can go build your package, submit it to the package registry, and we don't have to change our open source stuff. And anybody can then just go, and they don't have to wait for us to merge it or review it. You can just go make your plugin for your chain or whatever your thing that you want in there is. It could be literally a plugin for anything. If you want to order pizzas, sure, make a plugin for it. We're also adding a CLI, so you can just like manage your packages directly from the CLI. You don't have to worry about it. And this is actually alive today. This will be kind of in V1, but it's really optimized for V2. This is kind of the big problem. We have this sort of isolated message handling. Discord input comes in, Discord output goes out. You kind of can have agent action and response handler there. But we really want to just be like the agent is kind of the core. It gets inputs. It can send them to any output. And that'll dramatically expand kind of make it much more flexible for the kind of autonomous actions that we really want this to do. Again, this is kind of the issue with separate wallets. We have context for Solana. You could have context for Ethereum, mainnet, Base, all that stuff, and then actions for each of those. We noticed, though, that sometimes we get wallet collision. So like sometimes the actions are named the same. It gets a little confused. So now we have this kind of new thing where we have all the context going into what we call the unified inventory. It's coming from like video games like Diablo or RuneScape or something like that. You can have different inventory providers, and then you can have actions, and each of the different providers can have its own set of actions. So you might have like the ability to lend and swap on one, or you might just have the ability to like sell into a marketplace for another inventory provider, for example. And it's unique for each provider. So we have this. This is just like a lot of code. This is kind of our state composition. Kind of gone over. This is what it looks like right now. It's a lot. It's a lot. And now it's like very, very simple. And you can actually extend it if you like TypeScript. We made everything very generic, so you can basically write your own agent from scratch. You don't have to do anything the way that we do it. If you really want to get hardcore, now there's like a real advanced mode for advanced TypeScript users. Yeah. So this idea of like, okay, the agent can take input, it can respond, and then it can perform an action. And then from there, we could also have the actions perform additional actions if we want. But we can't like plan all the actions out. So that's something that we've been taking on with V2. So we can say like, okay, we're actually going to take a whole list of actions and do like a kind of a strategy and plan it out. And this is something that's been asked for a lot. So this is like a big thing to expect. And this will extend functionality a lot, like way, way, way more capable agents. Some other new things, we got the CLI and the plugin manager. We've got database-driven characters. So instead of the characters right now, we have this kind of character file. You can create your own character. It's great. But we want characters to actually be able to evolve over time. So this is something that we're doing by moving the characters into our database in memory, and then being able to actually rewrite the character on the go and add to different parts of it. So you'll be able to start. You could have a character that's basically just has a name and doesn't know anything about itself, and then slowly it actually grows with your community. This is like full autonomy. We've been working with the Follow team, and we've been working with them for a while to do TEE, trust execution environments. But this is going to be a native part of our stack now. So yeah. When is it? Well, we're going to do a research preview for our partners and special teams and people who have been contributing already in March. So it's about a month away. And then we'll be doing a public release in April. But don't wait. Just start building now. So I'm going to show you a couple of previews of stuff, and then I got a little special thing at the end. We are working on Agent Marketplace. it's got Launchpad, but it's got a lot more. We've got tools for media generation, interaction directly there. You can chat with the agent. You can also generate images, generate video, generate music right there in the marketplace. So if you want to launch with us, you can. And if you already have a token, that's OK. Just come bring your agents. But it will also help you do the whole Launchpad and token. We're also working on a special thing called Block Tank. It's kind of like Shark Tank, and it's all agent-driven. And you'll be able to take your project and actually come and pitch us. And we will be giving actual checks for real money. This is a big part of our tokenomics play. So I think this will be a lot of fun. We've already got the demos up. And yeah, this is how you can find us. We're discord.gg/ElizaOS, twitter.com/ElizaOS_AI. Kind of in the middle of our rebrand, so look for ElizaOS. And I got one more thing. We got the Jupiter Magic Fund. So we've been talking for a while. Yeah. Come on. Yeah.
Woo!
So what are we doing? Well, we want to fund the best open source AI devs in the world. If you are interested in, it's a $10 million fund. We're basically building this together. This came after a long walk around SF, and we got to do something. We got to make this happen. It can't just be OpenAI and Anthropic. We have to make sure that crypto actually is a big part of the world that comes. So yeah, we're starting the fund. Dude, you got any words?
Yeah. So a quick intro, right? Is that I think I think about 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Thereabouts. I think about 3 months ago when the AI thing just started blowing up. I happened to be SF, right? And I just went to this and I hosted a Twitter space, and I think Shaw jumped on, right? And I think I was just like, holy shit! These guys knows a fuck ton. It's crazy, right? And because you guys know, right? AI is so full of shit, right? I mean, especially AI crypto, right? So full of shit, right? And but I mean, and then after I went, for some reason, I went to some weird party in some weird event. So they invited me to a weird event in San Francisco. I went down. It was great. I mean, I think right there, Shaw was right there. He was just coding agents on the fly, talking about AI agents, how to change the world, and then we had a really good talk, right, about how AI agents and crypto is it's really gonna be the foundational pieces, right? Because AI agents alone are just agents, right? Crypto alone is lacking the autonomy, right, and the scale of functionality. So so I think we started talking a lot about the future, right? What will happen in the world, what happened to seniorage, right? How do we make money creation more fair? And I personally think, right, that we might be headed to a world where AI agents actually become responsible for value creation, right, of large amounts of money, right? So that was actually, hold on for a bit. What are your thoughts on that, by the way? How do you see? We talk about money 3.0, right? And obviously, you did AI 16Z, the token. So this guy knows a lot, a tiny bit about value creation, right?
Yeah,
am I right? Little bit. Right, little bit, right? So the question becomes okay, so I mean, and this guy is just crazy, man, fucking amazing. It's token up, token down, doesn't matter. In the live stream, coding, talking, streaming. Oh, respect, bro. So what do you think though? So as someone who is really been working on AI for a long time, and obviously have extremely deep thoughts on money creation, right? And secondly is that actually been through the process of taking something from zero, right, miming it to a couple hundred million, and seeing it go down to 20, right, and then working on it again, and then writing it again, right? So how so I feel it's actually amazing because it's really rare to have someone who have all three perspectives, right? Someone who actually made a multi-billion-dollar token, right? Secondly, someone who actually knows AI and actually creating really interesting AI frameworks. And thirdly, someone who actually has really deep thoughts about money creation, right? So do you mind sharing some thoughts about? I mean, you gave a very technical talk about agent just now, but I know you also think a lot about the idea of money creation and AI, right? So do you mind sharing some thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the whole reason we started AI 16Z was because we wanted to kind of move from the speculation, yeah, I mean, gambling's fun, it's a fun game, but we really want to actually have exposure and be able to invest in the kinds of startups that A16Z or Sequoia or these big companies. Yeah, the real one. And actually, I think Mark Andreessen's a genius. He created one of my favorite things, Netscape. He created the internet as far as I'm concerned, at least when I was a kid.
Tell a story. Tell that story about, come on, it's too funny. Like, tell that story about how, why it's called AI 16Z and what happened.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I met up with Bowski from Dallas.fun, and I kind of gave him this pitch of like, hey, look, like, I'm not an accredited investor yet, but I want exposure to this stuff. How come I can't just go invest in OpenAI? How come I can't get to be part of this AI thing? And I really worry about the world turning into a world where like AI is just happening to us, and we don't really get to have a say in that. And I think the way that we get to have a say is if all of our jobs or a lot of our jobs go away and get automated, hey, as long as we're the investors in that, we get to benefit from the value, that's great. I do not want to live in a world of UBI. I really think that crypto is the only way out of this problem.
It's also really interesting because we talked about UBI, right?
Yeah.
And the idea of UBI is always the idea of the government, like, like we have to tax the rich people and give UBI, right?
It's just not going to work.
Not going to work, right? And first of all, why it's not going to work? And what do you think is the alternate UBI we're going to see?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have all the answers. I think I like to start the conversations, and I think this is an ongoing conversation.
Of course,
but
yeah.
I think that it's about community income. I think we got to build communities that can invest in the technology that we think is important. This is where, DeSci is still brand new, but this is happening. Decentralized technology and investment is it's just starting to happen. I mean, you're obviously part of this as much as anybody. And we and we want this world where we can actually participate and say that's important. I'm putting money into that. I want to see that 10x or 100x, and for us all to get value. What's the next Uber? What's the next Facebook? That should be coming out of us. We should be creating that stuff.
And it's crazy because you're doing that, right? I mean, AI since you grew up, and now you have a DAO fund, essentially, right, to invest, right? And also it's also really interesting because I think we are really going to an era, right, whereby I think we're really going to start seeing an era whereby everyone has their own sort of community currency, right? That it's almost like a UBI, but instead of a centralized UBI, it's a decentralized UBI, right?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Income.
Yeah, community income. There you go. Community income, decentralized UBI, everything, right? So, what role do you think AI plays in this, right? Because AI is obviously kind of AI. Okay, I'll be honest with you, right? AI is always a bit of a conundrum to me because, guys, I mean, AI is superbly productive, right? Amazingly productive. But it's also sometimes dead, right? It lacks a human factor. But we are all about being for humans, right? So I personally have this conundrum, right? And if there's anything that's the real, if there's anything that's the most human, right? It's money.
Yeah.
Right? Money is the most human thing ever, right? So how do we blend the whole AI idea, right? Along with the money creation part, yeah.
I mean, there's just a lot of stuff in our lives that we just don't have to do. If I didn't have to wash the dishes and I could just press a button and have them washed, that'd be great. And there's that obviously starts in software. There's a lot of things. Obviously we started with autonomous investment and how can we take a community and identify the best people in that community and just have everybody else invest for them. My mom's not gonna go be a trader in the trenches, but she should be able to get exposure to this and be part of this. She's got a little Bitcoin, but I want this. I want to see a world where everyone can participate, everybody can get in on this, and then maybe it's not necessarily about taking the decision-making away from us. It's about enabling things like DAOs to actually work efficiently so that the decision-making can be given to people, but they can have the right information to make those decisions. I think this is also going to impact government in the same way, where if government knew what we actually wanted and weren't just getting messages from the lobbyists and the people closest to them and could actually take all that information and collect it and put it into their hands, they could make much better decisions. So it's actually not about replacing humans everywhere, although let's be honest, it is going to replace a lot of jobs. But it's about helping us make good decisions on the one side, and then for the places where it is replacing our jobs, making sure that we're okay and that we have enough. There's going to be robots. There's going to be spaceships going off and landing on asteroids and mining rare minerals. This is not that far off anymore.
So what you're saying is that AI in the role of money creation, right, wouldn't replace humans because you still need humans to be the community, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But AI bots can actually take away. That's how technology, right, making clothes a lot easier, right?
Yeah.
It's creating money a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
That's the idea, right? So that's the goal of Eliza, right? Is that
Yeah.
kind of okay, cool.
Yeah.
So there we have it. We have it. So Eliza is gonna make money creation much easier, seamless, and fun than ever before. Is the idea?
Yeah. I think we're gonna have a fireside chat. We'll get more into this stuff. This
Okay.
is really
Awesome stuff. And do it live. Fuck it, we do it live.
Yeah.
Right? All right. Thank you. Is anyone sure?
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.